Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Ash, and today I've got a sort of compilation of video reviews for you. Over the Christmas break I was playing through a pile of sort of games ready for review videos, and I've decided to do one as sort of like a compilation, sort of all in one. So let me know what you think. If you don't like it, I'll not do it again, but if you do, maybe I'll do these sort of compilations as well as the single game review videos going forward. But let's jump into it and have a look at these games. Okay, first up on the list is Megalan 11. Now, this was released at the end of November 2022, developed by Mayo Games and published by Sometimes You. And it's a exploration puzzle game where you are on a sort of alien red planet, and you basically have 11 days to get off the planet, basically. Now, it has a very minimalistic looking art style and soundtrack, and they're both pretty nice. Like I say, they both do the job, but the main gameplay is the puzzle aspect of it. Now, you end up having to explore the abandoned space base you're in, defend it. You've got to make raids into the desert and collect equipment and metal to do repairs and stuff like that. It's a very fun little game, and you have to sort of be careful of what you do, because obviously there's fauna in the vicinity, and it knows what you're doing basically, and they want to get rid of you. So these plants don't like you basically. So there's that. You've also got this obviously countdown of the 11 days, and you don't have to do it within those 11 days. You can do it quicker, but like I say, your first sort of playthrough, you're going to want to use as much time as possible. And overall, it's not a bad little game. I quite enjoyed it. It's not the best Sometimes You game I've played. If you are interested, there is a 30-minute free trial, I believe, as well on Xbox. And the game is priced at £8.39. One good thing about this game, though, is it does have a stackable achievement list. So there's an Xbox One version, and there is a Xbox Series X and S version as well. But overall, it isn't an easy 1000 gamer score. Out of the people that have played it, there's a very low completion rate. So just bear that in mind. At this moment in time, it's not the easiest 1000 compared to some of Sometimes You's other games. Next up, we have Jagged Alliance Rage, which is a sequel in the franchise of Jagged Alliance, which started all the way back in the early 90s, which is a sort of turn-based tactics game. Now, this one I don't like at all. I just didn't enjoy it. It's set 20 years after the first Jagged Alliance game, and it's a spin-off which lets you experience a road trip into a jungle hell to test your mind and body to the limits. And it definitely tests your mind to the limits, because it's just not very good. It doesn't feel like a classic Jagged Alliance game. It doesn't look terrible, it just doesn't look great, but the gameplay is slow, clunky, the maps are really small, and there's just a lack of anything compared to like the original games. Like you can only pick between like 2 people per mission. You can't create your own custom characters or anything like that. It does have a 2-player online co-op mode, which is nice, and when it works, the turn-based sort of tactics gameplay isn't bad, but overall it's a massive letdown, and it doesn't feel like a true Jagged Alliance game. It's like it was another game that were made, and then they slapped the name on top of it just to sell more copies, basically, which is a shame, because like I say, I did like the Jagged Alliance games back in the day, but this one just didn't live up to the classics sort of hype or anything like that. So yeah, unfortunately, Jagged Alliance, probably avoid unless you can get it in a sale. There is a variety of different characters with different abilities and stuff like that, but overall it's just a forgettable slog of a game, unfortunately. Okay, another game that sort of slipped under the radar last year was As Far As the Eye. Now, this is a sort of mix between roguelite and sort of village builder, basically. So this is sort of like a game where you have to travel with your tribe towards the center of the world, which is called the Eye, before like this natural disaster comes, this wave comes and wipes you all out. But obviously the game features roguelike turn-based resource management. So it sounds crazy, and yeah, it was clearly a mobile game or something prior to this release on console, but it works okay. Now, gameplay wise and graphically, the game looks fantastic. Like I say, it's a very pretty game, looks lovely. I cannot fault it in its sound and visual design at all. Fantastic. And it's a very sort of unique idea in the roguelike genre. Like I say, I've never heard of one where you've got to sort of have sort of resource management and roguelike in one sort of game. But basically, you have to sort of plan the best sort of path for your tribe to go as close or to the eye as possible in the amount of time given. You have to sort of explore all the areas and stuff, which is all procedurally generated as well. So every time you play a new game, it'll be a different sort of experience for you. And basically you have to harvest, build, stock up and everything, and then move on before this giant wave comes and wipes you out, basically. So while you're going, like I say, you'll meet allies, you'll be able to negotiate for resources, recruit new like helpers and stuff like that along the way. There's all sorts of like random events that will pop up as well that you've got to survive. And honestly, it's not a bad game. It's just not perfect in some aspects. So the control scheme isn't perfect for pads. Maybe it plays better on PC or on phone, but on controller it is a little iffy. And also, just because it's a little iffy, the UI isn't perfect, and it's sometimes hard to sort of decide exactly what you're picking or what you have picked and what you're clicking on. Once you get used to it, though, it's not too bad. However, the difficulty spikes can be quite annoying at times. They sometimes aren't that bad, but because it's obviously sort of randomly generated with the events and stuff like that and the layout of the map, you can get dealt a bad hand and it can be like frustratingly, annoyingly difficult, which is really, really annoying. But there's multiple ways to play it, like I say, depending on how you want to go about tackling each run. But like I say, it's a very unique sort of attempt at this genre, so I definitely recommend giving it a look. It's not perfect, but it does have a lot of promise. Now, this was released at the end of November, developed by Goblin Studios and published by Clabber, who were kind enough to send us a copy. And it's priced at £20.99, and I do feel like, unfortunately, it came out at like the end of November, and it's just sort of slipped under everyone's radar, and people have moved on to like all the end of the year games. So, if this is something you're interested in, this style of gameplay, check it out because, like I say, you'll probably really, really enjoy it. Okay, and last up is Legend of Keepers, Career of a Dungeon Manager. And I really enjoyed this game. It's a fun mashup between roguelite and dungeon management. It was released mid-November 2022, developed by Goblin Studio and published by Clabber. And honestly, I really, really enjoyed this game. So, basically, in this game, you basically have to manage dungeons. And you're there to basically hire the sort of monsters as your employees, stock up all the traps, and basically batter all the heroes that are trying to run through your dungeons. It's a fun little game. It's like an anti sort of dungeon crawler basically, and it's just really, really good. So every run's different, but you'll keep some of your master bonuses between runs. And what you do is you've got to, like I say, deal with all of your employees and stuff, including silly fun things that are thrown in, like employee strikes and stuff like that. And you basically have to ensure you can see what the adventurers are coming and stuff like that. And then you have to basically place the best traps and monsters to defeat them based on their sort of stats and resistances and stuff like that. And you stack it out, you lay them all out how you want it, and then you let them attack basically. It's really fun, really simple, and it's one of those roguelike games that I actually really enjoy. Now, it's got this great sort of 2D pixel graphical style, which I was a huge fan of. Honestly, this is a game everyone should have a play on. It's just silly. It's like a reverse Darkest Dungeon. Honestly, it's stupid, fun, and really, really enjoyable. Now, the game is priced at £16.74, playable on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. There is also a complete edition on Xbox, which also includes a load of DLCs as well. So you get like the Soul Smugglers, Feed the Troll, Return of the Goddess, and the Supporters Pack for $29.24. So it all depends on how much you enjoy the game. But like I say, this is one of the best ones I've played in the last month. I'm not, like I say, I've said many times before, I'm not the biggest roguelike fan, but I do like a good management sim. And this is one of those games where it sort of like mixes the two, but does it in such a fun and enjoyable way. So check it out, really fun game, especially if you like things like Dungeon Keeper, those types of games. You'll really enjoy this. It's silly, it's like just turn-based, and like I say, it has all those roguelike mechanics in there as well, and it means every time you replay a new run, it's always going to be different. So those were the 4 games that I've played in the last couple of weeks for this review. Let me know what you think. Have you played any of them? Did you want to play any of them after watching what I've said? Like I say, all bar one of them I would recommend playing. They're all very different in sort of how they look, how they play, who they're aimed at. And like I say, I really enjoyed Legend of the Keepers. Megalan 11 isn't bad as well. It's just Jagged Alliance was a big letdown for me after playing the originals back in the day. So leave a like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know what you'd like to see us cover in the future. And we'll see you very soon for more content, guys. Bye for now.